Okay, so that brings us to session number 28 of our Shadowrun storyline. Today we have 2 players online. Apparently I haven't got Jeremy's character on the screen this time, which I didn't notice, so I'll get Jeremy to introduce himself while I stick his character back on the screen.
That's just Declan so good at stealth, you can't see him yet. So, yes, I'm playing Declan Deadshot, the urban / street scum elf, and he's working hard to improve his lot in life, having grown up in the gutter, and dreams of joining the ancient Go Gang at one point. Which now appears closer than it had previously, because he successfully completed a mission that the Ancient wanted him to achieve. However, his plans might get slightly derailed by the fact that apparently, having grown up in the gutter, apparently he had family that certainly did not grow up in the gutter. But he's going to chase that down at some point in the future to find out more.
And it will be coming up soon, I'm sure, especially when you've got money behind you. Also online we have Martin.
Yes, I'm playing Rakash, the Sri Lankan badger-like city dwarf, who's stubborn but less agile. He's a primalist, and I think he's got a smuggler contact, and that's probably it.
Yeah, well, hey, he's not too bad off, as he can provide lots of help to the party, especially with magic, as he is their prominent magic person.
That's it.
Okay, coming back to the table soon will be Ariadna, and joining us soon will be Josh and Em, assuming of course they can get their mini-me to get to sleep soon enough. So, last time we had at it, you infiltrated the... my brain just completely lost the name of the corporation, but you infiltrated a corporation. Cavallard Research Center. Yeah. And in doing so, you managed to, with the help of Bolt, break through various security measures that you wouldn't have been able to get around as easily without him, and steal the Silver Angel file without having to plug it into their network and have an alarm go out because you've just plugged it in. Mm-hmm. You also managed to stop a rival corp from stealing the information in front of you, because they thought it was only a 2-man job. You figured out it was actually a 4-man job, and managed to successfully get all the information you needed to complete the job. Plus, you also did get rid of the evidence that anyone had been there at all, which helps.
And hey, I mean, we rescued one of the bad guys. Or at least allowed him to get out. So therefore it wasn't obvious someone had been there.
Hey, for a minute there, I thought you were inferring the dead guy you rescued.
Well, we kind of rescued him. We didn't leave him for the corpse. We just left him as a corpse with the corpse runners.
Hey, there are a lot of worse things that could happen. And so Ariadne's at the table.
Right. Sorry, brain.
All good.
Filling out forms. So I'm Shadowstar. For Shadow, I am an awakened elf. I'm sure that means something more than I realised that the corpse,
Magically active.
my line was going, I'm sure it means more than the corpse are trying to stiff us all, so let's rob them first, but that's how I view being awakened.
Really just means you drink a lot of caffeine.
That's so suitable. And I'm actually going to take that from now on. I am awakened.
So that means anyone who's not awakened is sleeping?
Sure. Yep. I'll get you out of your doze. I'll feed you some caffeine.
Don't worry, it's only got a couple of interesting additional herbs and spices, your own secret recipe.
Yeah, like LSD. No, kidding.
Technically,
Yeah,
that's roughly what people use to awaken themselves in the setting.
Not everyone is sleeping if they're not awakened.
You know, microdosing LSD is supported by science.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like George here, who's no longer playing around with at the moment, he's not sleeping, he's dozing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely doesn't. Because there are a dozen of him around.
Absolutely. Is there still a dozen of him around? Does he know where all of these people are?
No.
So
He doesn't know where they are.
there could be more than a dozen.
There could be. He's only seen two others of him. One on TV in another country, and one he met in person. Just getting myself some snacks.
Sorry, I could have got that for you.
Yeah, but you're filling out important stuff that I have no brain for. So I have books on hand. I have
All ready to go.
all stuff going, and
If I do get too preoccupied by my paperwork, you can wave some coffee on my nose. Am I able to pass you things to sign at random?
I have pens to sign with.
This is going to work out well for everybody.
Okay, so last session had you getting back out of Cavallard with your pay data, and I'm assuming returning back to Maria Mercurial's.
Yes. We were going to have a discussion with her about potentially breaking into her brain, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
That was the gist of where you were going. Because, hey, her brain's worth a fortune to you right now. And that fortune being living for another day.
The body's worth quite a bit too.
Well, she is your favourite singer for a lot of you.
Well, no, I'm more talking about the fact that while we're cutting her body, we get the highlight in her apartment.
That too.
Yeah, I was going to say we don't want to necessarily finish up bodyguarding her too quickly.
Yes, I'm just the Cavallard research facility job. Effectively, we've finalised all the details and handed
we have to
the
deliver that?
data over and got the water, all that kind of stuff, have we?
You haven't. I don't believe you'd finalised the data.
So we
I
need
believe
to
you
do
got
that.
back to Maria and you're wanting to speak to the client after making sure there was no heat coming down on you.
fair enough. And exactly, this is like I couldn't remember exactly what stage we got to, or what was assumed to have happened in that sort of sense. So.
I think at the end of last session we jumped a fence or were crossed over into the back of the van.
We had escaped, I think.
Yeah, they can't. But as far as playing, we swapped at the escape out, but whether or not we had jumped into the next day or the next couple of days, and assumed other bits, is what I was checking. So.
I'll say it's 2 days later, and you've waited a couple of days to make sure you could complete the run online.
Yep.
Because SoCal had asked for time to clean the matrix information, so the run remains clear, and you get the bonuses for people not being able to figure out how you did it.
And well, certainly, Yazran is more than happy to defer to SoCal's wisdom when it comes to computers, on the assumption that everyone defers to his wisdom when it comes to vehicles.
Hey, Desrin is the expert on bikes.
Absolutely. And he'll let you know.
So you are 2 days past the run, and I think I've got something that will tell me exactly what day of the year that is. Okay. Because there is actually a calendar that will tell you exactly what day of the year it is. Okay, so the date is the 25th of the 3rd, 2050. So that makes it a Friday.
Perfect.
Having done the run on the Wednesday.
Yep. And I think something else. We did drop the corpse off at one of the members' local street dot contacts, didn't we? On the way back to materials.
I believe we dropped it at Ebenezer's.
You'd also discussed whether it was Brother Blood as well, to get kudos with them.
That's right. Because someone wants to get in with the with that gang.
So Ebenezer's would give you possibly a free surgery in an emergency if you needed it, based on dropping off something that was worthwhile, whereas Brother Blood might actually be a good contact for you to get gear from if you needed cyberware.
I'm pretty sure that that's what we ended up deciding to do.
Did Desrin or Rakesh have a preference for free medical services or access to cyberware?
Free medical services.
Okay, from Desrin's perspective...
As long as it doesn't conflict with my awakened status.
Yep. Well, Desrin was thinking, he's happy to go to someone that someone knows, and if that has two options, he didn't have a particular preference of which way to go with them. Because whilst cyberware is nice, at this stage he's happy that people maintain the contact or improve contact that they wish to go with most. So I'm happy to go with the preference, and if it came down to a flip of a coin from multiple people, then it probably should be Bulk's final decision, because technically it was his run.
True.
Well, we can wait and see.
I was going to say, do we want to hold on for Emmy to come on and we can put it to her?
We can. Okay, so with that at bay, who wanted to go speak to the Johnson for the Silver Angel and hand in the data chip, or did you all want to go?
Well, again, this is one that
I believe.
Bolt was the main original contact, wasn't it?
No, I was driving the whole thing. We just needed Bolt as a body to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, we were kind of screening Bolt from the Johnson because we didn't want to get... They're interested in files from Cavallard, you know. Could we possibly endanger Bolt if they found out that Bolt came out of Cavallard?
Okay, no, that makes sense. Again, as a player, I missed the opening session for this particular run, so I'm happy that
but I wouldn't
the
mind
was very
having...
appropriate.
Wouldn't mind having at least someone with me, because even though Eve, I think it's Eve Donovan.
It is Eve Donovan, and you had shared with her all the details of your run.
Yeah, one of her prerequisites was that we did nothing without her oversight.
Yep.
Basically, you guys had no reputation.
No, that's right.
Sorry, I'm just providing my own
Elevated music.
looking up my notes music. Elevator music, if you will. That's right, because Eve works for Ares Macro Technologies, so we didn't want to risk Bolt. I'd say I wouldn't mind at least someone accompanying me to the meet with Eve, even though it'll probably go smoothly. She strikes me as someone who, if she decides that she wants to do something, she'll come with sufficient manpower to see it done. And considering the cost of this run and how much was riding on it, I wouldn't put it past her to want to wipe out all trace of stealing the file, including wiping out us.
Well, and again, since I'm not certain who was the empty initial list, I figure it's perfectly appropriate that, in this case, Shadow, Rakash, and Desmond all attend the closing of the meeting.
So I'll call to arrange that.
Okay.
Can you say what session we're on?
You're up to session number 28.
Thanks.
And Desmond does have her contact details, as he did meet her at her place.
Yep.
Oh, really? When was that?
I believe. Oh no, it wasn't this one. That one was the chips.
Yeah,
that's the one you met at the place.
Chips, because Desmond wanted the.
Unfortunately, the names can blur a little bit for the NPCs.
With the ancients, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Alrighty, let's go.
She arranges a meet at the local zoo.
Okay. This sounds interesting.
Is that an abandoned zoo?
No, the zoo's actually fully functional. You do have to pay entry.
Public place where people are less likely to go wrong, but it's also one where weapons would not be appropriate under those circumstances.
And you are basically close enough to the military base that if you caused a ruckus, you probably wouldn't make it 3 steps. Well, it's within line of sight of some of their towers and posts.
I guess one thing that we will discuss before we actually meet with her is, obviously, she was involved in all the planning and understanding exactly when it was going to happen, what was going to happen, how it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do we tell her about the other team? Because again, this is where I'm not...
There's 2 sides of it. One side of that is, if you tell her about the other team, you can go, hey, not only did we get it, but we aced the other team. But the other side of it is that she was she was getting pretty antsy because she was worried the other team would beat us to it, and that would just confirm her fears. So...
And that's actually, so she's the one that actually warned us to expect the other team, wasn't she?
She was, yes.
I would say the way to take it is thank her for her warning and tell her that they were there, because if she discovers that they were there later, she might... She's actually being pretty straight with us, so us holding that information, she might actually look at that negatively.
And well, I figure that considering she's the one that mentioned about the other team anyway, I would definitely be saying, hey, we should say that, yep, the run went smoothly, except for the slight hits where we came across the other team, but we guaranteed the other team did not get out with the data.
Yeah.
So,
So I think approaching it that way is not...
confirmation for her that not only did we do the job, but the others didn't get there first, as she was, particularly if she was concerned about it.
I think that's probably the way to go.
Happy with that.
And we'll get out our cameras and take photos of lots of lions.
And not that the rest of the party would be aware or not otherwise, but as a player, I'm interested. So has SoCal taken a copy of the data?
He didn't tell anyone if he did.
That's what I thought. I happy with that.
And how many Matrix runners, data junkies, would actually not back up the data in some way?
Certainly as a player, I'm expecting it. As a character, maybe. Jason obviously doesn't do a lot of computer stuff, but he's certainly expecting that, hey, it's always worthwhile to have a backup options. So, happy that we don't know, because that way we can't tell.
Well, he will say this is the only physical copy I've got.
Yep.
Not telling you he's got not telling you that he's got a data copy hidden somewhere on the Matrix.
Exactly.
What we don't know won't kill us. Maybe.
And we can't reveal.
There's that. So, most of you have no trouble navigating. So, do you go in one vehicle, or do you each take your own vehicles?
I'm happy to travel in Desmond's van if Desmond's taking his van.
Certainly, Desmond's happy to drive everyone if they.
Yeah, I'm happy to go along with Desmond.
It's been 2 days, and your door hasn't been fixed yet.
Oh, hasn't it? Do we want to go in my car then?
Oh, the door in the van?
Yeah.
Did we lose the door in the van?
Flogger pulled it off.
Oh, yes.
You need to buy some parts.
Might be something we have to do after we get this done.
I suppose actually considering, that's certainly what Declan's been doing for the last couple of days, is tinkering as much as he can, but happy that it's not actually officially roadworthy again yet. And noting that Shadowstar does have a more sedan type vehicle, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Well, every time you look at it, it seems to be slightly different. Which frustrates you completely, because you can't categorize her vehicle.
Well, more the idea that because we're not trying to transport trolls at the moment, just 2 elves and a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
A normal sized vehicle will quite happily do it. But if it's only like a 2-seater coupe or something, then Declan's happy to take his bike and those two can go in the car.
I'm fairly sure it'll accommodate 3.
You've seen it actually have a troll-sized seat in it and not have a troll-sized seat in it. You're not exactly sure what's up with this car because you've not had to tune it at all.
Is Desron the one who'd normally be doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the mechanic of the group.
Alright, we'll head over in my good-looking car.
And so you find that it is a sports car that I will give your character a perception roll for Desron. What is Desron's perception?
He gets, I think it might be 1 yellow, maybe 1 yellow and green. Hang on a moment. There's my character sheet. Yeah, so one yellow, one green.
Mm-hmm.
With these side eyes. Does Shadowstar like to get chauffeured in their own vehicle, or would she prefer to drive?
Well, she her car seems to be connected to the network. So another thing you do notice about the car while it's driving is no matter who's in control, it doesn't seem to follow the direction the steering wheel points.
Yeah, because I also say because technically, if Shadowstar wants to drive, or at least sit in the driver's seat, Desmond will take his bike.
I think my car prefers I sit in the driver's seat.
All good then. So you and Lucas will be in the car, and I'll be following along behind.
I don't mind if someone else drives. I'm curious. Does my car care if I let someone else sit in the driver's seat?
You've never let anyone else sit in the driver's seat.
I asked my car, does she mind if someone else sits in the driver's seat?
It just does not compute.
Fine. Alright. That's all good. I'm good with that. I just thought I'd ask. I just thought it'd be interesting to know.
By the sound of it, Desmond would prefer to take his bike anyway.
I was going to say,
he's not in control of the vehicle. That's a problem for Desmond.
I was going to say, it sounds like you want to take your bike regardless, but I was just curious as to whether the car would let anybody sit in the driver's seat aside from her.
You know, if Desmond looks like he wants to take the bike, it's just the fact that, hey, any vehicle he's in, he's controlling.
It does have a rigger port on the car.
A rigger port?
Yep.
What is that? So
you can plug it into your brain and control it while your eyes are shut.
Oh, wow. Why would you want to do that while your eyes are shut?
Because your response times are faster.
Oh, fair enough.
It's basically like jacking into the internet type stuff rather than using a keyboard.
So
interesting.
You're driving at speed of thought instead of just reaction.
Okay.
It distinguishes between classes.
Has anyone... distinguishes between classes?
Yeah, so you've got the motorbike guy and you've got the rigger, which is the rigger-enabled vehicle. So it's a kind of class-based system in order to distinguish different characters.
I was going to say, has anyone measured the speed of my brain's processing capacity? It's pretty slow. I think it might be slower than average.
I think Shadowstar's is a lot faster than most.
It'd be faster than mine.
Faster than mine. And so, and the other thing that Desron finds interesting is the on the back of the vehicle while he's following on the bike or going past it, he notices that the model of the car hasn't apparently been released yet.
Which is even more keen at some stage to get a look under the hood, but obviously it's been a bit challenging to have the opportunity to so far.
Well, every time you've gone to spend some time on it, the car's just never been there.
That's right, because somehow it's...
Something's always interrupted you.
It happens. Just getting all the more curious now.
And on your drive out to the zoo, you find that you had such a lucky drive, you got all green lights the entire way. Not once did you have to stop.
I need this car in real life.
I was going to say, so we're arriving for the meet early, we've got time to have a wander around the zoo before we hit before the meet.
You do.
It only took us lots of time to get there than we expected.
You can't remember the last time you actually travelled across a city where you didn't actually get stopped at a traffic light. Even in the Barrens, you usually get caught up in traffic.
I'll send a message to SoCal and say, yep, thanks for the clean ride. Been too convenient, thank you.
Yeah.
You get a question mark back from SoCal. It says, sorry, you've left yet?
not SoCal.
As a player, I knew it wasn't SoCal.
SoCal has a habit of being useful, but he sends back a message basically making you think he thinks you're still downstairs.
Right. Obviously, there's some cross communication there somewhere. I'll catch up with SoCal later.
Okay, getting in there, you see that there's this big exhibit going on at the zoo at the moment. They're currently showcasing a new breed of animals they're using for stock that they're transporting to Mars on the first commercial civilian transport heading off in the next few weeks. It's basically their top exhibit at the moment. Sort of like rabbits, but designed genetically to survive on Mars.
Well, I suspect that that's probably going to be a bit easy to try and look at before the meet, even though we've arrived a bit earlier than we expected. But hey, maybe I'll make the rest of the zoo be easy to go and see the lemurs for a little bit beforehand. Or possibly see if the zoo keeps a juggernaut.
Well, at the moment, the zoo has gone out of its way to limit its magically active creatures.
Mm-hmm.
But
they
they
all make like ones where you get a hole.
Yeah, but they do have quite a few of the electric eels that are powering most of the zoo at the moment.
Really? They're powering a whole zoo of electric eels?
Yep, because they're awakened eels and they send off enough charge to potentially run a car off.
That's good to know.
Just keeping them happy is quite difficult, as they tend to die in captivity unless they've got a large enough chamber to play around in.
Fair enough. If I'm stuck in a cage all my life, I'd like to have a pretty large cage.
But as the zoo keeps them happy, they've got a colony of their own miniature power supplies.
So if you wanted to go off grid in the city, would you just get yourself a tank and fill it full of electric eels?
People have been trying.
Interesting.
It's one of the reasons why the sniper tower on the military base not far away from here has clear view of the eel enclosure.
Yep. Oh, that's kind of cool.
They do have a sign on the eel enclosure. If you step past this point, you may be shot on sight.
I guess it's there for good reason.
Lethal force of this enclosure is authorised, and it's not only coming from the eels.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
I don't know about the non-eel ones.
I could not help the dad joke. So, with that, I'll have M introduce herself.
Hello, I am playing Bolt. I am not the sharpest in the shed, but I run really, really fast. I can go bitey. And we've just pulled off, I think we've pulled off an amazing heist, but I've missed the first little bit, so I'll get caught up, I'm sure.
And then when we were talking about who was coming with us, we said whether Bolt was deliberately staying out of Eve's sight, because I imagine Bolt would enjoy a trip to the zoo. But if we're trying to avoid her out of Eve's sight, we can still bring her to the zoo and Bolt can run around while we're doing the meet.
I'm sure Bolt would love chasing the animals.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And how
I'm sure
about...
you won't find me in an enclosure, somewhere.
How about Josh? Is Josh back?
He's just, feeding the pup at the moment.
Oh, good. So he'll be on eventually.
He'll be on in probably 5 to 10, hopefully.
All good. So there was a question for Bolt. What did Bolt want to do with the body you recovered from Cavallard Research Facility? Did you want to drop it off at the street dock for a potential free service down the track? Or drop it off with Brother Blood for a potential cyberware discount up down the track?
Probably the first option.
Okay, so the first option it is, because the party was pretty much divided on that one.
We figured technically your run, you had the deciding vote.
Yeah, Bolt's not really into the cyberware. He's kind of already been there, done that forcefully.
What, you mean you don't want to get inbuilt spurs into your hands to make them more lethal? Make yourself Wolverine with the wolf face?
Or get to run even faster?
I'm pretty speedy as it is, but yeah, I'd rather stay alive.
You could get faster legs.
Good.
Legs that give you extra spring and leap.
That's fine. We'll go for the street dock.
Okay, so yes, did you? Which point did you come in at? Em, did you hear about why they were at the zoo?
I just heard that we're at the zoo, and that's about it.
Okay.
At the zoo for a school day.
Yeah, they were at the zoo. They managed to get there early for their meet. They're trying to meet with Eve Donovan to hand over the chip to get the rest of their payment.
Oh, yeah.
And when they're there, they found out that the zoo's main exhibit at this moment is small animals that are being loaded onto a colony ship for the first colony of Mars.
Oh.
Especially bred for the trip, so they're not natural animals. And the zoo's showcasing some of those animals.
Well, we'll probably feel a bit of an affinity towards them, being also not a technically natural born being.
Who says Bolt's not natural born?
Well, at this point, am I?
You don't know. Because
anyway.
that they do have awakened creatures. And dragons. So you can't say dragons are genetically grown when most of them are older than civilization.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, you got to think about, hey, are elves natural?
To most people who aren't elves, no.
Which is probably a fair statement for Bolt too, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bolt's having the smell fest of his life. You've not had this amount of different scents coming in ever. Mostly it's been chemical stuff. This is all organic.
Doesn't quite know where to run yet.
Is that where you kind of paralyzed?
What I'm hearing is that Bolt is like any of the other kids around the zoo at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. Takes like 1 to 2 steps one way, looks the other way, takes 1 to 2 steps the other way, and then that's kind of just like repeated for a few minutes.
At least it's not like the teenagers pulling out the phone and going, "Where's the app to interact with the animal?" So,
I want to make the animal jump. The jump button.
I want to play in a Dance Dance Revolution.
This could be fun.
Okay, so while you're relaxing at the zoo, enjoying sunshine, less polluted space, and not as many people crammed into the same spot as you are, as nearly everyone at the zoo is at the special attraction. You have some relaxing downtime for about an hour or two until you're supposed to meet.
Oh,
I take tons of photos of lions.
And there's lots of time to take photos for.
I'm good with this.
You're good. So then you get your 5-minute warning on your phone telling you your appointment's almost up.
Well, we'll start heading that direction. Part of that would have been like in the hour type stuff, was to confirm exactly, hey, where is the whatever enclosure that we were planning to meet with Eva was?
So you're meeting outside the panda enclosure. Which is currently closed down due to pandas being unviewable to the public at this stage. They haven't quite said why, just that that they've actually shut the exhibit, but that they do have the seats outside of it still.
Yeah. Unviewable to the public at this stage on account of being dead, but we don't want to tell you that yet.
Well, they never tell you these things. Especially when they've got animatronics and can reanimate it down the track. Why ship a new one in when we can make the old one work still?
But I'm guessing that means that there's going to be less people around, so it's going to be less of a public exchange.
Well, you can see people from where the seats are, but people aren't going to walk past in general.
Yeah, happy with that.
You think that's why they picked it, so you're not going to have a random person make the run into the exchange. Okay, so as you're there waiting, you do view Eve Donovan coming over to your direction from out of the crowds. She stands out by being fairly tall and athletic compared to everyone else around her. And her black hair is still short and loose.
I've just thought of this as a delayed thing. We did discuss leaving Bolt not around Eve for the exact reason.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yep.
My thought was yes. Bolt has been is off enjoying other parts of the zoo at this point in time.
Yep.
I'm off with Flogger enjoying.
Yep.
I don't know, something.
Sorry, my brain very, very slow to catch up.
Flogger's eating some ice cream, doing the apparent parental thing with Bolt doing the kid.
So she comes up to Desrin, sticks out her hand and says, nice to meet you again.
Oh, I was going to say, should I be offended? I've dealt with her in the past.
And turns to Shadowstar and says, glad that you've managed to help most of the others with this run, as she sticks her hand out to you, because she hadn't met Desrin before.
No, that was, as I said, it was just a private, hopefully somewhat comedic thought. Yes, glad to be of service. Especially for, what is it, 80 grand? I don't say that part.
Considering, let me see. I
did try to have a look to see how much. I remember the job came with like $35,000 bonus.
So this one was to 45,000 with a 15k bonus if you actually pulled it off.
That's right.
And that meant that you're owed half of that 60k.
So 30.
Seeing where I actually put some of those notes myself. So I know I actually did put it
because I'm pretty sure the money might have something to do with Desrin replacing his door. Although that might come out of Flogger's portion.
Yeah, I think that was coming out of Flogger's pay. Well,
Yeah, I've got the, my notes on it have it that
So it
the
was.
job was for 50,000
Yeah.
total,
Yep.
with 35
Yep. I've just
on
found.
completion.
So you were given.
Plus 15 up without alarm.
Well, they actually got 50k up front with
Oh,
35
realised
upon
that's just
completion.
upside.
With 35 upon completion, and another 15 if you exited without setting off the alarms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've just found the
Total of
same
90K.
page. So
Which,
that's in.
which is handy because it was on the website under campaign.
I can't get 100K.
Yeah, I knew it was a huge payoff, which is why I kept pushing it whenever I could. But it wasn't always possible.
Okay, so she asked you for details of the run. When did you do it? How did it go? What can you tell her about the file?
Did SoCal give us a rundown of the file?
No, his thing was if you read the file, they'll most likely shoot you.
Okay, certainly. Whilst Edward is certainly happy to let Shadowstar take the lead, as a player, the information that I would be suggesting would be the answers to those questions are, well, as scheduled, we did it 2 nights ago, 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yep. It'd be bare bones.
One went smoothly, having the word got out of my head, but pretending to be
We went in undercover as the movers.
waste materials.
Yep.
Or supplies.
Overland.
The only potential hit was when we got to the server room. We discovered that the Fuji team, was it?
Yep, it was the Fuji team.
Fuji. Yep.
The Fuji team were actually already in the building.
Yep.
However, we could be confident that they did not obtain a copy of the items because their computer guy was deceased, having been locked in the server room where it was evacuated of all oxygen and air.
Well, sucks to be him, she says.
And the accomplice, or the Fuji's accomplice, was still waiting for him to come out of the server room, and so they were removed from the situation without having raised any further alarms or concerns to ensure that Abelard had no reason to suspect that either us or Fuji
had been there.
entered the facility.
Yep.
As far as what's on the chip or what's on the file, no idea.
Well,
We'll hire to collect it.
We chose to remain ignorant.
You weren't paying extra to find what was on the file, only to get the file.
Well, her research has shown that no alarms have been raised, so she's able to confirm that you did so without setting things off. And because you can't tell her what's on the chip, she has been authorized to give you the full bonus and hand you a stack of chips, so each person gets another 50k.
I like that. That little tiny out of nowhere. Woo.
As you can tell, we can do the jobs you need when you need them done.
She's happy with that because if you were a not suited to this life, you would have let curiosity get the better of you and read the chips. Yep. I'd
just like to note for the record that in addition to Martin's very quiet woot, the cat also meowed, so I think he's owed 50 grand as well. he if you check the recording, he meowed just after that, so I'm pretty sure he's like, I eat ice cream too, guys.
Well, actually, I don't know whether officially Dex been talking with Shadowstar making these kind of conversations like that, but certainly when I made the statement about, obviously, there are people who can do the job, I was thinking...
Sounds like she met you first.
I was wondering else somewhere else.
And if I'm slowly remembering, I think I did come in one of the times when you were away, so So I am the stand-in. So I'm happy for you to give her that overview. I'm happy to just add in very few comments, just more like confirmation sort of yeses and mms and chuckles.
For me, it's purely the fact that, as far as I'm aware, Shadowstar was Eve's main contact initially. So.
Yep. So yes, she asks, do you have any plans?
Oh, well, so it's always worthwhile laying low for a little bit before taking advantage of recent gains.
Well, she recommends getting your affairs in order and disappearing for a time, because when what's on that chip does come out, there will be a lot of unhappy people trying to find out what happened.
I say we use this money to go and find ourselves some digs. Unless, it depends on how long term where we're staying is. How long term is where we're staying?
Not long term at all.
Yeah.
Are we in like a basement that's got like water trickling down the walls?
No, you're currently squatting at a
Luxury apartment
of a major celebrity.
Penthouse suite with Mario Mercurial. So we're completely off the grid. No one knows anything about us or anyone or where we are.
Actually, if we could just make this job last a little bit longer, it might be ideal for going aground.
Well, no, when I say that we're completely off the grid, I'm saying very, very facetious, considering that there was quite a considerable firefight when we took myself on to become bodyguards for Mercurial.
And
I suspect that there are certainly images of with Mercurial.
And you do have the Yakuza hunting you for trying to get Mercurial, so you've got to be careful where you go and who you interact with, because there's a 10k bounty on each of you.
Is there something we can do about the Yakuza?
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we be doing that?
If we get the info out of Mercurial, then they'll stop hunting for her, and we become less valuable to try and eliminate. So.
I suggest that we try and get that and find ourselves some digs at the same time, because that finishes up the Yakuza stuff, which means that when everything breaks about the Silver Angel file, we'll be able to go to ground without worrying about the Yakuza as well.
It's certainly not something that Jacob was going to be talking to Eve about.
No, no.
But when he said that, we'll probably lay low for a bit and enjoy our newfound bonuses.
Yep.
But he's also thinking that, apparently he was supposed to make a trip down south of Portland, so that's probably a good place to get away from Seattle for a while.
Each of you has your things you want to do to make the most out of stuff.
Yep. What's down in Portland? Something secret or a job?
No, it's not particularly secret, because I'm pretty certain that probably party members might have been aware when Desmond found out, but the fact that apparently his father's will's being read.
Yeah.
Or it had already been read. It's just that you're trying to find out what it is that your father's gone to a place called Angel Grove to find the heritage item that you've got.
Yes, well, it's a Desmond, it's just like the idea of you had a father? Let's try and find out more. And this seems like the best place to start, finding out where he died, what he's left from dead.
Yeah.
And you've got some lawyers you can use to track down the other family members. Once you pay them enough.
Alright, so let's collect Bolt and head on back.
Flogger,
Yep.
So
you'll be able to get Flogger in a minute.
Yeah.
So you catch up to Bolt and Flogger. They're about half an hour from getting into the Mars exhibit. having been lined up for the last hour or so.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. It's exciting. Smells good.
But there's ice cream.
I'm surprised that you went to try to get into the exhibit.
I'm sure that's how you got them to stay in place away from Eve Donovan.
Fair enough.
Look, if they want to see the Mars exhibit, I'm not going to stop them. The question is...
Okay. Yeah, we could have told Bolt that, hey, you'll be able to see the new bunnies, the Martian bunnies.
Yeah, Martian bunnies. Lemurs, right?
Yeah, you got Bolt really excited when you said that. So he's been a good boy and stayed in line and following the line.
And while you're actually being in line, you managed to read some of the signs that are coming up on your phone about the exhibit. And looking at it, they've got something about building better people to be able to survive Mars. And you see pictures that resemble you on the pamphlet.
Please, help you, please. I don't know.
Sorry, so the pictures are of creatures like Bolt.
So people like Bolt.
Right.
People being enhanced to better survive the effects of Mars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, I'm kind of picturing the old series of Dark Angel.
Yeah.
Bolt obviously had some dog DNA put into the build-up.
Yeah.
Presumably, the ones designed for Mars might have slightly other different animals have been put in there.
Yeah.
And it has connotations such as more loyal and obedient and things like that thrown in there as subliminal messaging.
I don't know if it's a good idea to let Bolt go in here. We might end up losing Bolt to Mars.
They don't look exactly like me, really.
We do have a bit of an echo with you and Josh.
Oh, no, sorry. Josh was on mute. I put my mic down as well. So.
Okay. Echo stopped as soon as you started talking then.
Yeah, because I put my mic back up. I didn't realise Josh had unmuted.
So, Josh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Josh. I play Flora. Flora is big burly troll. Jacked muscles, punches things really hard. Trying to make playing cards out of doors.
And I'm assuming you didn't give Desrin his door back?
Nope.
That's why Desrin needed new parts.
Yep.
I thought I'd confirm it, but it's very hard to get a part from a troll who's using it as the playing card.
I was going to say, has Desrin already deducted that from the 50 grand's worth of credits that we just earned? New door, 5 grand.
Fitting, 50 grand.
The new door wouldn't cost 50 grand, though.
No, I said fitting cost, 50 grand.
Is it parts and labour, remember?
Yeah. and then suddenly...
Even though Desmond doesn't labour himself.
I was going to say, and then suddenly Desrin's van's all decked out with all of this 50 grand worth of new equipment because labour was actually 0 because he did it himself.
Oh, no. Okay. The fact that he does it himself doesn't negate the cost of labour.
No.
And when you get a true expert, an artist
Absolutely.
in the field, obviously they cost more per hour.
It's not artist, it's artiste.
That's how you know it costs more.
That's it, you've got to have the E on the end. Just like when you're at Subway. Artiste.
Okay, so yes, you managed to get yourselves back to the... so do you actually go into the exhibit, or do you get pulled away now that the others have done their own?
Oh, no, okay. Having had distracted Bolt and Flogger with the idea of, you just wait here, you'll get to see the Martian bunnies, and Flogger can have an ice cream while they're waiting.
Yeah.
When we actually catch up, like we say, they've moved a good 4 metres forward in the last hour.
Yep.
We'll let them walk away. We'll say, okay, it's time, let's go.
You see Bolt looking somewhat sad because it was excited to go see the exhibit, but...
How long is the line?
Probably another half hour waiting out in the sun.
Just half an hour though?
Well, I've already waited an hour, so...
Look, I don't mind taking them through the exhibit. We're in separate cars.
But the Degra will quietly point towards a couple of the AR signals and like show them on the thing, saying, "You probably don't want Bolt going through here."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Bolt might not come out the other side for one reason or another.
Yeah, okay. I tell Bolt that...
And there's probably lots of breakable stuff in there, including doors. We can't afford
I tell Bolt and Flogger that I've just found out that the exhibit isn't actually running what they say they're running, and the bunnies that they're expecting to see are actually just normal human beings dressed up as bunnies, and they're really quite boring. Do I have to roll a persuasion on that?
Probably not. We're both probably dumb enough to believe that.
You mean they're not Esquilax?
No.
With the tail of a bunny and the head of a bunny?
I was gonna say, is that the thing where, yeah.
Yeah, the Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
A magical animal with the head of a rabbit and the tail of a rabbit.
Yep. I still say, even though there are a lot of really good golden ones from that, my favourite is still, I can't think of the girl's name, Lisa. Electrifies the cupcakes and Bart can't stop himself from reaching, just gets shocked over and over again, because that's me and donuts.
Yes, and the fact that the guinea pig learns after about 2 tries.
Yep. and Bart's just reaching and reaching and reaching, and I'm just like, yep. I don't know. There are funnier things that have come out of The Simpsons, but that's still my favourite.
That's certainly one that sticks in the mind. I can quite happily agree with that.
Okay, so having convinced them to go away, I will load the other 3, the Dwarf, the Troll, and Bolt into my car, which I'm guessing can magically accommodate all of us again.
Apparently you've got a big enough car for everyone.
Okay. Troll size seat
Well,
and everything?
presumably it was the same size as when we left, because presumably the other 2 were actually in the back seat.
Yep. Why would they not be in the back seat?
I'll let Rakesh sit up in the front seat so he doesn't get squashed by Flogger.
Or licked by Bolt.
Yeah, look, I can't guarantee that, because Bolt could probably move if she really wanted to. So we'll head back to home.
Okay, so you magically get all the green lights again.
I thank Car. Tell Car I love Car. I love Car.
And again, it's another quick trip out from the outskirts of Seattle right into the very centre.
To be honest, I promised my car the best oil and the best everything ever, but I suspect she orders it herself and gets it anyway, so...
Or possibly doesn't need oil.
Yeah, but, whatever lubricants her engine needs, I suspect she takes care of all of that herself.
Okay, so when you get back to the apartment complex, you find SoCal in the basement loading your gear into the back of the van.
Does the van have a door yet?
No.
Okay.
Make it easy to load.
Well, there are a couple of doors in there, considering you do have Flogger's collection. And he says he's got some good news and some bad news. What do you want first?
Bad news.
Bad news.
I'm surprised to see SoCal down here doing physical work, but hey.
Well, the bad news is...
bad news must be bad.
I'm guessing the bad news is we've been kicked out.
Yes, Maria's moved on. And we no longer have access to her apartment.
She's moved on in what way? Is she still alive?
Still alive, gone to another continent.
Oh, that's as long as she's still alive. I'm okay with being kicked out.
That's going to be hard to extract the information from her, though.
Well, that's the good news. You got the information first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's why she decided to move continents.
How do you spell SoCal? Is it a C or a
And-
K?
She doesn't need someone to house sit while she's away.
No, because again, she's already got a few doors to replace.
I was going to say earlier, how have you managed to not lose all the doors in her house yet?
The only reason was most people were keeping an eye on Flogger, but not all the time.
Flogger paying 52 pickup. So far at 8.
I'm really tempted to take Flogger to like a wrecking yard so that he can get the rest of his cards, just so that now that he's got all 52, he doesn't have to collect any more doors.
Knowing him, he'll want to get the next set.
And then you'll want a canasta set.
Listen, in Blackjack they have 2 decks.
Personally, I'd be actually taking him to Monster King.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go. I really don't think, I don't think Mike would probably appreciate us being there though.
I'm sure Wachowski won't mind too much.
He's Polish, they tend to resign themselves pretty quickly. And that is not a
As long
comment
as we
from
don't
World War
go
II.
boo.
And what was that, Jeremy?
As long as we don't go boo,
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, boo happens. He's managed to get the data. He's just not sure how to get it to the Yakuza without being shot. Do you have any suggestions?
I'll take it.
Don't get shot. Run fast.
Well,
Considering I've had no
we know what
contact
the
with
data
the
is
Yakuza,
worthwhile. Like, obviously, getting the price off our head is certainly a good thing.
Well, it's the location of the waste material hidden under the barrens.
That's right, yeah, which is why I couldn't remember whether or not as characters we knew we suspected what the information was or not. But
He does know the location, and that's also part of the news he's got for you.
yeah,
He thinks he might be able to negotiate housing from As Technology for them to not disseminate it any further.
and would this housing be located on some conveniently available freehold land in the middle of the Barren?
But that's what he thinks. He does have some contacts, and it means we might actually have a place that no one else wants because of you don't want to go into the basement. Life expectancy is short under the building.
Out of curiosity, the location that's in there, how close is that to where we were living anyway?
About 1 or 2 blocks away.
Yeah, so obviously, hey, if there was any problems, we're already dead, so it's fine.
I'm in agreement.
Well, it's not radioactive, it's just toxic. It's one of the reasons they say don't drink the groundwater in Redmond.
To be fair, yes, I would say it's only one of the reasons.
So I said, one of the reasons.
The other reason is Britney Spears is there. Toxic.
And he says that they also have the doors going around there every now and then, he's sure.
So, well, yes, it certainly sounds like it would be worthwhile to get the information of the Yakuza. Do any of us have contact details for them as opposed to walking out on the street and making ourselves visible to therefore make contact? Desmond certainly hasn't got direct contact with the Yakuza, I don't believe.
Well, the bounty you guys have on your head is not bringing you in alive.
No, that's right. So,
Do I have the bounty
Yeah.
on it though? I don't think I've been involved.
You weren't there at that time, so you might not have it.
So would I have any kind of connections that would allow me to contact the Yakuza and open up talks?
What do we have down as your connections?
I've got Mr. Blood. I've got the bartender that used to know the now dead Decker. Sorry, I don't know names at this stage. I've got the detective.
I'm sure the detective would be able to help.
Yep. Well,
I'm sure if you meet up with him with, say, Desmond, nothing will go bad there.
I will meet up with him without Desmond. Conchita, that was the Karen Whisper.
remember, he's the detective that Desmond did eventually talk about the fact that, oh yeah, the one going around hunting elves.
Yeah, but I'm an elf too, so, you know, we're not all bad.
Yes, well, just that you didn't know who was specifically after male elves at the time.
Yeah, well, look, now that I've had the conversation, because I believe I had the conversation with Desrin that said along lines of maybe it's not a good idea for them to come into contact. Because I think at some point I held out on giving in the chip until we had a slightly more open discussion.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Detective Callahan. So I'd line that up without Desrin. I'd line it up by myself, basically. Because isn't everyone else on Yakuza's hit lit?
Most of the people are, yes. Because
Okay.
they were there at the time when things went bad.
I'll contact Harry.
Okay. Harry's happy to meet you up at a coffee shop.
Yep. I need to stay awakened.
Just gotta remember that we haven't had any other interactions with the Yakuza, except as far as we know in relation to the Maria Mercurial one, have we?
That's the main thing you have had relations with in a negative sense.
Yeah, that's what I know we've had a number of firefights with the Yakuza, but I try to think that, yeah, all of them were actually connected with Mercurial.
They were.
Because was it the Yakuza that were involved when we had to steal an ambulance and got chased down?
The Yakuza were involved when you met Mercurial for the first time, where you went to see Hernandez, when you got back from seeing Hernandez, and then you found out that they have been behind the scenes buying up land in Redmond, and got a chunk of land denied to them by As Technology.
Because they didn't want them digging up their toxic waste.
Yep.
All the connections we've had with the Yakuza so far have all definitely been related to Maria, and therefore, yes, we haven't necessarily had the opportunity to exchange phone numbers.
And you got your IDs from the Mafia. So there's someone else you can actually approach to talk to the Yakuza is their competition.
Would we be talking to their competition about contacting the Yakuza? Are we... I know we can't expect Bolt and Flogger to do those sums and come up with missing heads, but I'm pretty sure Desrin, Rakesh and I can do those sums.
Okay, certainly Desrin would be thinking that depending upon how closely you're the friends with them, you might have friends contact with Mafia. Assuming that they might be interested to know why you want to contact the Yakuza.
Yeah.
And if we say anything about the idea of, we've got information that means that they'll stop chasing us, the Mafia might well be more interested in that information rather than actually protecting us. And we're really good friends.
Yeah, exactly. Look, so I'll put it to you guys. I think this detective might be able to hook me up with the accuser, and I might be able to broker a deal. Do you guys want to come with, or do you want to stay behind?
I've got no reason to see Callahan.
Well, in that case,
You could always ask him some questions.
unless Rakesh, Flogger, or Bolt want to come, I'm happy. I think it'll just be a really quick meeting. I don't think it's going to be all that exciting.
Potentially it's not a meeting we have to have face to face.
No, it might be just a phone call, actually.
Hey, friend, buddy.
Well,
Yeah.
he did ask you to join him for coffee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, we have set up a meet already. All right, so I will go see him. Sorry, I got like a 2-second memory today.
Yeah.
So I'm.
Are you taking anyone with you?
Not at this stage. No, just on the basis that I don't want them to end up in shit. Particularly. Well, actually, it's only Desrin that could end up in shit. So theoretically, other people could come if they wanted to come. I just don't think it'll be very interesting for them.
I mean, the only other question would be exactly what the fallout from the Ripper chip being found or being taken off the streets without necessarily closing the case for Callahan, and whether or not he associates that with the party members in any way. So,
does anyone remember how we finished that off? Did you just hand the chips over?
well, yeah, the chips that were being collected, were returned back to the originator, and in the case of the Ripper chip, which is the only one that Callahan had any interest in, and that was just because there were killings happening in the Barrens that were starting to encroach into the civilized part of the world. From his perspective, it would be, oh well, yeah, apparently the killing stopped, but we don't know why or how, so therefore it'd be an open case as far as he's concerned.
Yeah. Well,
I
it'd
guess
be a case
it's
of.
hard, but it'd be open.
Well, he was investigating people that would normally not get investigations done.
Yeah, but that was the male elves who was doing that was unrelated to the Ripper case, I thought.
I know he was actually following up on people who died
Oh,
who didn't have IDs.
yeah. Wouldn't normally, you wouldn't normally expect him to chase up. But hey, that was probably all just to gain better background information to close the case because it involved real people. He wasn't doing it because they were dead. He was doing it because, hey, they might have clues to find the people who were really dead, or the real people who were dead. At least that's how Desmond would interpret his actions.
Okay. I'm just gonna have a quick meeting with him, just on my own, because I don't think it'll take long, and I'll talk to the guys about whether or not they want to meet up with you, who's in contact with me. So I'll have coffee with him.
Okay, you zip down and find yourself a park outside. You see Callahan sitting inside the coffee shop with bundles of hard copy, which is extremely rare these days.
I the hard copy with interest, but ask no questions. I'll let him decide whether or not he wants to give me information.
What, you're not going to read it upside down?
Can I read it upside down?
There's probably about 40 different names on the tabs of folios he's got sitting on the table.
Any names I recognise, like, I don't know, Desrin?
Doesn't have Desrin on there.
Okay.
Doesn't have any of your guys' names up there. But it does have a troll that you remember having one of your friends masquerade as.
Okay. Georgie?
No, Womp.
What?
Womp
That's
had
going to be my next guess.
Womp had a nickname he was using for his sex site.
Oh, okay. Is that the sex site that we developed for catching the Ripper?
Yes, which is now on Plugger's phone.
What do you remember what that name is, or do you? Okay, so it's just has one of Bomb's aliases.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks so pretty in the photo.
Well, it's not open, so you can't tell.
I take a tactical guess and I go, "You're still looking into that case of the serial killer?"
He says, yes, I've got 40 killings so far attributed.
That's quite a lot of damage that guy's done.
And having done 40 killings in a month is probably amongst the worst serial killers on history.
Sounds pretty devastating. Although I haven't seen any news on it recently.
Either he's been put down or he's moved on. Doesn't mean my case is closed until I actually catch the bastard.
Well, that's what makes you a good detective.
Mm-hmm.
I gather you're still chasing down leads? Anything I can help with?
Yeah, there is actually. He opens up another file and slides across a picture of a elf that sort of looks like Desrin but doesn't.
Alright, well, hopefully I play a good poker face.
Sure, give me a discipline check.
What do I need for discipline?
All elves look the same, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good elf.
Let's find out as I look up your abilities.
Is that willpower? Vigilance?
That is willpower.
Or cool presence?
Willpower.
Okay, so I've only got a 1.
Okay, you got 1 green dice to.
Does that come with any of the skills attributes though? Streetwise skills, skullduggery.
Discipline is a skill. It's a skill your Star Wars
Deception?
character has in spades.
So no, I don't see it here. So I don't see it. I don't got it.
He needs the real reason to tell him what to do in the. Or to read you.
I don't know what that means. So
Okay.
that could be good. That could be bad.
So what that means is.
Red dice is bad.
Yeah, I know red dice is bad, but I'm forestalling the realization of despair. No.
It's okay, I don't think it was a despair.
Oh, okay. So that's not a despair dice.
Well, it could dice that has despair
That's
on
the
it, but I
space.
don't think you want
Yeah.
despair.
That's what I see. I thought I was being clever by making that remark, but
You were.
Oh, absolutely.
So, what happens is you get the choice of either revealing your innermost desire or fear, or accidentally revealing the true goal of why you're here.
true goal of why I'm here is to get in contact with the accuser. I'm happy to reveal that.
Okay. Because he's shocked. You're pumping him for information about the underworld of Seattle.
I look appropriately embarrassed.
He
There's
says-
another word for
He
it.
says that means you're buying the real coffee this time, not the fake coffee.
I was always going to buy you real coffee. I'm an awakened elf. I believe in real coffee. I'll even pay for I don't want to say donut, cake to go with the coffee.
He says make sure it's round.
Like a donut?
Put a hole in it. And the only real concern with you saying you don't want to say donut is the problem with the fact that what you meant to say was half a dozen donuts.
Absolutely, yeah. Alright,
So he says, what do you know about this person that you obviously know?
Can't say I know. I know a lot of people who look like him. What's his name?
So, Jeremy, what would your character's real name be if he's not calling himself Desrin?
I don't know that I've actually
Thought that far?
gone that far.
Well, I'll come up with one for you.
I was going to say, because I mean, part of the problem is that as far as he's aware, like from his background that he knew about, he didn't necessarily have a life before he was growing up on the gutters. So Desrin just would have been an name to pick while he's to change to try and separate from what he was when he first started.
So he says the idea of this person in the picture, he believes, is a Gerald Oswald from a orphanage.
I definitely don't know any Geralds. Or Jerrys. Or Oz or
Well,
Ozzies.
he ran away from home before he could speak, so it's unlikely he even knows what his name is. Or what they called him. They didn't know what his name was. They just called him Gerald Oswald.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't say that he rings a bell, but if you let me take a photo of the picture, or if I see him, I'll get in contact.
He says, sure.
I take as much of a photo of the file as I can without looking like I'm taking a photo of the entire file.
It's one of the thickest files he's got.
Oh, well, I presume he's not going to let me take it. I'm just going to take a photo of the page to get what info I can for Desrin. Why are you interested in him, just out of curiosity?
Oh, some people out in Portland, they're paying him for information.
Oh, okay. I wonder what that's in relation to. Like, are they asking you to track down this guy? Is he like a missing person, or?
I'm sure something like that.
Yeah.
Either that or he's stolen something or wanted something.
No, surely he's on the right side of the law.
He's a missing person from the orphanage.
Well, yes, that's true. The orphanage don't want him back, do they?
I'm sure he's too old for the orphanage now because he left the orphanage when he was about 10.
I was making a joke.
Though, technically, normally a family would pay the orphanage for adopting him, or the orphan would then give a stipend to the orphanage when they start working to help pay for their upkeep and other orphans. So, one way or the other, I'm sure the orphanage would like to find out what happened to him so they could send him a bill.
I see. Look, I'll look into it and see if I can find anything, but I'll have to check in with some of my friends and see if they... Like I said, he looks familiar, but I don't think I know him.
Apparently he was always interested in bikes, if that helps.
Right, I'll make a note. Keep a note for elves on bikes that look somewhat like this guy. I am genuine in that, in the sense that I'll go back to Desra and I'm like, well, Harry seems like a fairly good guy. Maybe this will be your link back to Portland.
When you get down the conversation, Desmond's going to be laughing in your face.
Probably. I don't think Desmond's going to do anything about it. But,
Well, except to avoid Callahan even more.
out of interest, I say to him, is there a finder's fee that this Portland group are offering?
Quite likely. I'm sure I can hand on a little bit of that if you help me.
Well, you know, I'm into working on commission, so.
So do I.
Just a little bit of money might go a bit of the way in finding
The cost
contacts.
pension's not what it used to be. You've got to start with it somehow.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't even think that he worked on commission. So, do they really work on commission then?
Some of them do when they're not actually doing policing duties.
Oh, I see. So, like, what's that thing they call it?
Private detective.
No, there's a thing they call it.
Freelancing.
Yeah.
Bounty hunter.
No, not quite. There's an actual word for it. Blacklighting, I think. I think it's blacklighting when you blacklight as, say, a security guard or something like that. All right. Well, I'll let him know if I do come up with any leads that might be worth chasing.
Yeah, I'd most appreciate it.
Hopefully he believes me. I ask him, I tell him I'm trying to actually get in contact with some disreputable people myself as a part of one of my current cases.
That's okay. The photo I gave you is a very disreputable person. Apparently he smuggles.
The question is what he's smuggling.
I'm sure it's highly illegal, otherwise he wouldn't be smuggling it.
I don't know. If it was apples, maybe in this world.
Apple's not worth that much to smuggle. Too much effort to keep it crisp and edible.
Oh, I'd pay a lot for an apple. I like apples. Alright, let's I'm trying to get in contact with the Yakuza, and I was wondering if you had any contacts that I might be able to set up a deal with.
I've got quite a few. Which branch of the Yakuza do you actually want to get in touch with, as there are quite a few in Seattle?
Have I found out from Desmond and the rest which branch of Yakuza I need to deal with?
You have not.
Was there any information in the stuff we got off Max, either interrogating or from his computers and phones and stuff, that indicated who he was working for?
That's what I'm in the middle of bringing up.
It suddenly occurred to me, I thought, potentially we actually did get a contact with the Axe already from coming through Max.
If I can get to that page, I can actually tell you. Because nice enough, they had it in multiple places.
It's a pity you can't do a Control F. Yakuza.
Okay, he has details for the Shigenda Syndicate.
How is that spelled?
Shigeda.
Yep.
One, Sumiko Hadota.
SUMEKO?
IKO.
IKO?
HOTODA.
HOTODA.
But you probably want to be careful with her, as she's a mage.
I think when it comes to the Yakuza, you should always be careful.
Yeah, but who knows what other tricks she has up her sleeve.
But, yes, I will most definitely take care. I will buy him an extra coffee if he wants one.
Though he does know she's looking for an elf very similar to the one he's looking for.
Really? Well, that helps me know I'm on the right trail, but I don't say that to Harry. Seems like maybe either this guy looks like a lot of elves, or he's very popular in all the wrong circles.
Well, one of those places.
Considering there's a bounty on his head, yes, wrong in all the wrong places.
Oh, well, look, if it turns out that my lead turns into a lead I can give you, I will give you any leads that I can.
He looks at you sideways. You probably need more coffee. That didn't make a lot of sense.
I was absolutely telling the truth. The fact is that I can't give him the information, but if I can find information for him that I can give him, I will. I find the best lies are the ones told through truth.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when they're with people you don't want to burn your bridges with. I thank him, bid him good day, and head back to tell Desmond what a popular boy he is.
We knew that the Axe were after us.
And now I've got
During the fact, honestly, I know, because Desmond wasn't the primary contact for the Maria Mercurial one,
But his face was splashed around.
Oh yeah, no, he was certainly connected with. But like, I was about to say that. Oh yeah, it's not surprising I had his face because he was the primary contact, and realised actually no, he wasn't the primary contact.
Floggo was the primary contact for that one.
while I'm on the way
What
back,
about that guy?
does the photo I took of the file give any kind of detail as to, like, in addition to the photo?
It's about 6 years ago it was taken.
But is there any, like, written stuff around it that I managed to capture? Like, was the photo a part of, like, having file details, like the people in Portland looking for him, or that kind of stuff, or...
No, but it does show the thickness of the file it was placed on top of.
Okay. So...
With the name Gerald Oswald on the file.
rather than walking back and taking him immediately, can I go back 2 places?
Mhm.
Can I don't know that I've got any stealth, stealing, distracting things. But while I'm offering him coffee, can I see if I can persuade him to go up to the cake display and maybe pick out a cake for himself, where while he's got his back turned I can flip open that file and take a photo of the first page on it?
Sure, give me what's your character's charm?
I don't know if I've got any charm. I've got negotiation. Oh no, I've got 1 charm of 1.
What's your
I've got a presence of 2.
charisma? Not charisma, it's
Is it presence for charm?
presence, that's what it was, yeah.
2. I'm smarter than I am charming.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It depends on what you're trying to do. I just wish my brain wasn't so slow.
Okay, so he does go up and check out the stuff, but he does seem to notice, without you realizing it, that he's watching you in the reflection of the cake panel as you're quickly flicking through the file, taking photos.
Okay, well, that was always going to happen. I will report back to him if I can give him information.
You managed to get a bunch of shots of stuff,
Okay. Whether or not they're useful, Martin will tell me later.
but there's stuff from a law firm in Portland paying him to track down this person, and they've got another name in there called Desrin Deadshot,
Okay.
and a more recent up-to-date photo.
Interesting that he showed me the old photo.
But they're not guaranteeing that this is the same person. The guaranteed person is the old photo. But the Desrin is listed as one of 5 people of interest that meet the criteria.
Okay. And do I get any other info out of that, or will that be something we'll talk about later?
It's mainly about the people in Portland,
Portland who are looking-
and the contact details of those people.
Yeah. Well, that might be useful. So if we want to go down to Portland to lay low, it'll give us an address of where to go. How much is the finder's fee for Harry?
They haven't got any numbers listed.
Okay. I ask Harry, as nonchalantly as I can't, how much is he in for if he does find this guy?
Enough that he might get decent coffee for a month.
Does that give me an idea? What's a decent coffee cost?
Probably about 100 credits.
So we're talking $3,000?
Probably 3 to 4 grand.
Okay. I might flip him some money anyway if I find stuff.
They're not asking him. They don't seem to be asking him to do a lot of stuff just to get confirmations.
Yeah. Well, if I can find a way to drop a tab or something like that for him, so I don't want to give him any information, but I don't want to do him out of any money either.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yes, you join up with the others.
Yep.
Having got information on one Sumiko Hadota.
Do we know anything about her from...
One last thing he does say is, for a Yakuza, she has no honor.
Oh, okay. That's not good news for us.
Which is why he's got her contact details.
Well, look, it could be the reason why she's considered that she has no honour is because that she will deal with non-Yakuza people. And maybe Yakuza people don't like that, and they consider that dishonourable. So it depends on the context in which she's dishonourable. But anyway, give this information back to the group and ask them how they want to proceed. Do they want me to call this Yakuza chick and offer to and try to arrange a meeting with the Yakuza to negotiate the removal of the bounty from your heads in return for information that they're after? Or do they want to go their own way in figuring that part out? Or X, Y, and Z?
I'd be suggesting the idea of, well, we can try and make contact just to try and arrange some sort of interaction to deal with the situation, including that, hey, go through. I would not suggest any face-to-face meeting. I'd be looking more at a dead drop type situation. But the problem with dead drop, obviously, is that we don't get any confirmation that the hit's been removed when we hand it over. But admittedly, we don't get any confirmation the hit's been removed when we hand it over anyway. If we're in person, it just means we're there on the spot to be hit if we
What if we organised a double dead drop? You organise the initial dead drop to show a portion of the information and then get some kind of, I don't know about binding, but some sort of agreement that we could at least show upper ranks in the Yakuza, should it come to it, that we held over to our side of it. And then upon them like agreeing to that with, say, a fingerprint or something like that, give them the rest, or some kind of similar situation where I don't know, is there a way in Shadowrun that you can make people kind of stick to their side of the bargain?
No, that's why it's called Shadowrun.
I didn't know if there's...
And they're more likely to take a finger.
Well, yeah.
If they need a fingerprint record to actually activate it, they'll just grab the finger to put on them. So.
Yeah. Well, that's why I just thought it was worth asking. The other option is also that we could video it, as in organise a dead drop and maybe video that they accepted it and, you know, at least document that we gave over the information. I don't know how useful that would be, but that's the only other idea I've got in terms of brainstorming.
SoCal suggests blackmail.
Blackmail. How do you do that?
Well, we found out that they're buying up land in Redmond Barrens as part of a public works, and you could advertise that the Yakuza are behind New Horizons, the development company.
I see.
Outing them to the public and basically making their development company useless.
I give SoCal a big hug and a big lipstick marks on his forehead in angle.
We can do the Robin Hood thing of actually letting the public know about the toxic spill that's been dumped in Redmond. But we blame it on the Yakuza instead of on Ace Technology.
Well, SoCal adds to that, saying that if you use that as the threat that will happen if you die of unnatural causes anytime soon, you would then render the entirety of their development useless.
Yeah.
And what was that, Josh?
Flogger stops colouring in envelopes. Oh, you mean bad-mouthing Yakuza. Blackmail.
Not sending black envelopes.
Damn.
But he does pipe up to Flogger, you can never have enough black envelopes, and hand you some more crayons.
On it! Flogger finds some more black crayons if he runs out of punch chocolate.
I add to Flogger, we're going to need them for a Halloween do this year.
No. Flogger does not find charcoal. We're not going to put matches in Flogger's hands.
Just crayon. Just crayon.
Hey, SoCal's been buying up in bulk. He's not going to run out.
I think this is a wise
No matter
idea.
how many years.
SoCal gets Flogger, okay? If you give him something shiny, if you give him like a colouring book, he's entertained for at least the next 30 minutes.
Or
Nobody find it all.
in the crayon.
Let's do the blackmail thing.
But he does say that he has come across an anomaly in the details you got.
Yep.
The number you got for this Yakuza chick is the same number you guys got from Max Foley for Hernandez's office.
Yep. Which means that which we worked out was, or we thought at the time, was actually Foley's office, wasn't it?
You thought it was, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, we can potentially call the number or see if they can respond on that number, because hey, we're pretty confident Mac won't be answering.
This is why he's pretty good at dummying up a AI to be L-Face.
Mm-hmm.
His current one is a Mars bunny.
Good choice. Lots of images available then to actually adapt.
So are we going to do this blackmail as like a text video?
He says, who wants to do the talking? He's not good at talking.
I don't want to give them a face that they don't already have.
He's got a overlay so they don't see your face, they see a Mars bunny.
Yeah. Okay.
But you still get to do the talking.
I'm happy to leave it to the rest of the group. I've gone and done this stuff. They can start doing some stuff.
So which one of you can talkie, he says?
Where's Womp when you need him?
I was gonna say, Womp's not here. He's the face.
Alright, so Desmond's more than happy to talk anytime, but
Desmond it is, he says.
Definitely a different thing, but
Flogger can talk.
the intent is if the Yakuza do not drop the bounty on us, and if we do die in unfortunate circumstances, then news of or this information will be released to the public, and with the confirmation that it's come from a cause by the Shigagi Corporation, or whatever they call themselves. legitimately.
Shigagi Syndicate.
Yep.
I thought
But
you
you,
said Shigega.
Shigid, you know, I can't pronounce that.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'll
Sorry.
whatever it is.
just sounding it out.
As part of their development of their so-called charitable development in the Redmond Barrens. So,
He does say that he'll probably give you about 6 to 12 months of protection until they clear out the waste themselves.
At least they cleared out the waste.
Well, that way the blackmail is of no value.
yep. And it's also got the advantage of the fact that, well, hey, if we die doing some other Shadowrun type activity, the Yakuza will still get hurt.
Yep.
That's
So they might actually try and protect us.
You're never quite that lucky.
if that
They might
happens,
hear about this gumshoe detective beat cop that's trying to chase one of us down, and they'll have to eliminate him because, hey.
he's not technically chasing you down. He's just been asked to pass on some lawyer details.
But yeah, I'm happy to be going down that pathway, and it probably doesn't necessarily need to be a direct interaction. It could be effectively recorded message sent to them. The only question we've got at the moment is we don't know whether or not the number we've got will actually get through to them. So
Well, you got the number from Callahan?
it happen to be the same number as
Max's,
that Max had, that we
Yep.
thought was actually Max's number, but
Well, he gave it to you as Hernandez's number.
yes, but then we realised that it definitely wasn't Hernandez's number.
You never found out whose it was because you never actually called it.
Okay. I had a vague memory that we decided that it must have been Max trying to call to keep track of where we're up to, so... But anyway, we'll certainly give it a try and see if there's an actual response or whether we get a recorded message back from them type stuff if that counts as well. So
Okay, so he patches it into each of your data feeds for those of you who've got data pads or phones or glasses or eyes. So you can actually see the two sides of the phone conversation. So on one side of the conversation, which is you guys, you see what appears to be a Marvin the Martian helmet on a bright pink bunny rabbit with these really big blue eyes. Very cartoony version of the Martian rabbit.
well, I mean, and anime versions seem perfectly appropriate for talking to the accuser.
Well, Walls is very interested. Bunny.
Yeah, bunnies.
And as Bolt says it, you see the mouth of the bunny going, "Bunny." She was obviously too close. He was too close to the mic.
Yeah. So Jason will immediately ensure that SoCal has muted all the other mics.
And then the other one picks up, and you see what appears to be very attractive Asian woman with slick black hair, some sort of feathers in her hair, saying Hernandez's studio, how may I take your call?
We
So many
were
replies to that.
contact and okay, he'll give the name of the Yakuza woman that we're going through. So, okay. Understand she's with Hernandez?
Do you mean Sumiko Hitoda?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Says, please hold the line. The image sort of freezes of this woman in the middle of saying, "Hold the line." And while you're watching, the bunny rabbit seems to be in one of those I'm bored sort of animations. trying to tick its face through the
Does
screen.
he start eating the carrot?
I'm sure he does.
Certainly, Declan's indicating with SoCal saying if there's any evidence of a trace happening, let me know, we can shut the call.
I was just going to say that is SoCal checking against a trace.
Well, he's currently running a trace, so he's not sure if they have started yet either. There's no evidence.
I'm happy to trust the fact that, or even if he says, 2 minutes, shut down. I found it, shut down.
He does say he's bounced the signal 3 times around the world, so they're going to have fun tracing it.
Also makes it more likely he'll be able to find it if they are trying to trace it back, because he'll be able to say, oh, hang on.
So in about
And how long are we holding for before it's a response, or before we give up?
he says about a minute into holding. Well, it does appear they seem to be tracing it. They've currently traced us to Canada.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite amusing because Canada doesn't exist anymore, but essentially registering has gone to Canada.
Obviously,
Happened to Canada.
shut it down as soon as you're concerned if they're getting anywhere near.
Canada got turned into multiple countries, like
Right.
America got turned into multiple countries.
Like, technically in Denver, sorry, in Seattle, we live in the UPAS, which is the United Canadian American States. But it's not all of Canada or all of America.
Yep.
Now we have them in Atlantis.
This part of me is like, these guys don't answer soon, maybe we should just release this information they don't want released now.
As it seems, they're about halfway around the world at this stage. And then the image activates again. So you think it's probably another...
Okay. Feel free to shut off any time. Just give me a moment's notice and I'll tell them, you're on.
And the image starts animating again, and you hear a slight accent going, "This is Hodota. What information do you have for me?"
Good evening, man. We had
what's with the bunny?
Apparently a mutual acquaintance, Mr. Max Foley, unfortunately no longer with us. However, it would seem that there is concern with our interaction. We have certain information, or we've discovered certain information that would be exceptionally damaging to yourself and your colleagues, and we wish to ensure that such information does not come to light with, say, an unfortunate accident were to happen to us.
Well, I'm very good at arranging unfortunate accidents if you don't get to the point, she says.
But that's just the point. If an unfortunate accident happens to us, information about a certain enterprise that the Cicada Syndicate are conducting in the Redmond Barrens of Seattle
So,
is likely to come to light.
what are you looking for to get said information?
Information.
Merely the assurance that no unfortunate accidents will occur.
She'll need to see the information before she can make assurances.
That can be provided. And okay, so if Trokal was happy enough that the line was secure, that he can effectively send it through, send the file through.
Sokal says there's two more revolutions. He says that he wouldn't send a package through because it would then be traceable.
Yep, fair enough.
Dead drops better.
Yeah, we'll arrange a location or a matrix site where they can recover it at their leisure.
And what assurances does she have that you won't then release or pass on this information to third parties?
We don't want to die.
Well, so obviously, unlike some of us have honour.
Burn?
And, hey, rather avoid unfortunate accidents or misunderstandings.
Okay, so you sort of see the screen freeze on the other side for a good minute before she continues.
I said Duke would make a wonderful face.
Well, hey, one of those tricks they have for Matrix is when you can't control your emotions, the AI version of you just stops showing emotions.
Yeah, but it's like it was the deliberate statement of, oh yeah, well, desperately impinge the honour of the Yakuza. That's a perfect bargaining ploy, isn't it? What any good face would do.
Then when she comes back online, she says, send her the drop point and she'll leave a response there for you. As she hangs up.
All good. Did anyone else in the party react to the idea of Degra impinging the honour of the Yakuza?
No. If she is a person without honour, she probably deserves it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's good practice to actually go around claiming that they don't have honour.
Hey, as far as I know, the so...
All they know is he's bunny.
But yes, so we shall deposit a copy of the information at the agreed location, and presumably finish packing.
Yeah, so, the copy of the conversation you have recorded has Desron's voice as a high-pitched tune, as it was running through a voice scrubber.
Mm-hmm.
You have a feeling theirs was too.
I would expect so.
And he says he's got quite a few drop points he can use online, or do you want to do one in person?
Desmond certainly happy to make it an online and avoid any direct visual contact or communication. Because hey, that's where accidents can very easily happen. Especially if someone feels like their honour's been impugned.
I was going to say, it's pretty ballsy, but...
Yeah, so Cal goes, baiting the Yakuza is probably the best way to ensure that physical drops are not really worthwhile. Well, they might not take you out this time. I'm sure they'll remember you.
But they might also
And
remember
Jacob will
that...
be left going, what do you mean? Oh, you mean I should... Oh, okay.
They might also respect him for his courage.
Yeah, I don't think that actually applies when you're dealing with honour.
Yeah, no, probably not, but I was trying to put a positive spin on it. Martin, do you want something to eat?
I wouldn't mind something to eat. Okay, so after doing that, SoCal looks at a few places to upload to and says, did you guys also want to threaten as technology with similar information?
Well,
Threaten or
Not
negotiate
yet.
a new place to live?
at least not until after they've discovered that we might have it or have something directly against us.
Well, he's sure that's the whole reason they're in Seattle with the dragon.
What was that, Coman?
He says he believes that's the whole reason they're in Seattle with the dragon and they're dragon knights.
Do we want to try and blackmail a dragon?
That was what he was
Sounds
suggesting.
like a healthy move.
He does say that if you don't blackmail them, then they'll probably eliminate you just so the information doesn't get out.
Well, then
Okay.
maybe we should.
But then the Yakuza get hurt.
Well, the fact that both of them know about it is not a bad thing. Neither of them want it to get out. And you are currently being hunted by both.
Okay, so I haven't actually registered that the Aztecs were specifically aware of us.
They're aware of what Maria had in her head.
Good. And they're aware that it would not be hard for them to be aware that we had association with Maria. So,
And they're the likely ones to track everything you know and most likely put something in your ice cream.
No, we can't do that to Flogger. Then he wouldn't be able to trust ice cream.
only once.
No, he'll just rip all their doors off, it's fine.
As long as there's doors, I will make my deck.
You okay, Mark?
Yeah, I just knocked something over, that's all. I'll find that a bit later.
Yes. It would certainly seem that even though as technology haven't necessarily put a price on our head, that's probably because they're just not bothering to contract it out.
They are doing it in-house, he believes, which is why they sent their personal assassins to Seattle.
Well, hopefully they can be made to see reason in the same way as the Yakuza, and that they're going to be equally, well, possibly even more concerned about keeping the information safe and secure.
Well, he stole the code for Maria's head from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that will go down well.
Yeah, perhaps we can effectively leave the message to say this information has been discovered. If these individuals meet an untimely death, an untimely accident, then the information will be released not just to the public, but the Keyfoge, since they were the ones that were being held back by them at that moment in time, and probably not really worth trying to make it into corporate type stuff, so released to the public, including the Keyfoge. Or better say, it'll be put down, not saying it'll be put down as the Shakina syndicate type, like their public face.
Well, he does say you could one-up it by saying you're going to release it to the corporate court and embarrass them internationally.
Well, we could, but presumably, if it gets released to the public, then the corporate court becomes aware anyway, and it means that we're not the ones officially creating a deliberate corporate intrigue.
Yeah,
And let's face it,
it's a dragon. We should use
Aztec might be controlling the corporate court for all we know. So, from Deidre's understanding of how the corporate world works, it's like, yeah, they're probably big enough they don't care about the courts. But maybe the court of public opinion will keep them down.
He does say that the corporate courts are what keep the corps in line, and it's a power play between them all. So an embarrassed megacorp in the corporate court will probably have to pay lots of fines and clean up the spill on their own dime, causing an international incident. Won't protect us, but it will cause them far more grief than anything we could do publicly.
I'm with SoCal. We should definitely do that.
Yeah. You're the one that knows that stock stuff more than I do, so upper crust stock exchange.
Well, I have been working on my Blackmail 101, he says.
There's a course for that?
As I said, if you say the corporate court's going to be different from the media, then let's do it.
Okay. So he writes up a 30-odd page letter for you to check through. Citing.
Declan will read all the way through, not necessarily try and attempt to understand everything that's in there.
So
at the end of it, go, yeah, the key's good.
It has a lot of gobbledygook references and something about the Teatso building in
The
there.
party of the first part and the party of the second part, and yeah, that all sounds impressive.
And it really sounds legalese to you, to the point of your head's really done in because you're not really sure what he's saying.
Yeah, that's right.
Considering
But that's right. Yeah, but I will aim to make it look like it. Yeah.
You
I like it. Well, good job, well done.
Yeah, Shadowstar has a look at it, and it seems SoCal's blackmailing as technology to give them a building. If they don't, he will release this to the public, and they'll have to deal with the fallout.
I'm thinking this is a good deal.
So it's basically a building with no lease or sale passing between them, but they won't contest you. You're living there and won't send anyone else there.
Do you think it's pushing too far if we tell them to also put in like a real coffee supply in like a cafe at the base of the building?
We're
teasing
still talking to Barons here.
The coffee wouldn't reach the building.
I was making a joke to Sarko. Hopefully he appreciates it.
He says he would have considered doing that, except for the fact that, they would probably lace the coffee with something that would make our ownership of the building rather short-lived.
How about this? Also ask them for a door to the van. With expedited shipping.
Flogger her door.
Strike how it goes. It's a door to your mind. Think about it, he says.
Flogger shakes his, like, Flogger grabs both sides of his head. Must add door to deck.
I can keep Flogger ripping his ear off.
He said door, not ear. Make sure you get the right one.
That's the door, the ear is the door to the mind, obviously.
I know the eyes are the window to the soul,
So the eyes of the window, not the door.
so that's safe.
Because, I mean, ears must be the door because they can flap.
He says, but what about the mouth? Because you can open and close that one.
Desrin, do you want him
Make
collecting
my head
ears?
hurt.
And not that I heard entirely all of Shadowstar's question, but if it was along the line of, do you really want Flogger to rip his own ear off? Dex was going, well...
No, it was worse than that. Do you want him to start collecting ears? Because something tells me that if you convince him that ears are the door to the mind, he's going to see all ears as doors, and he's going to want a deck of ears.
He's going to collect mostly a full deck before the night's out.
Yeah, and I like my ears.
On the plus side, they take up a lot less space.
I pull my hood up, nice and close, around my head, just in case any of this sinks into Flogger.
Flogger will create second deck of ears. First must be doors.
You need at least 2 decks of doors for blackjack. And what happens when you play canasta?
In the casino, don't they use a what do they call the pack with like a half a dozen decks in it?
Yeah.
They
Yes,
do.
You lost Flogger with canasta.
It's a card game.
He's better at fish or snap.
Oh, okay.
No, don't play snap with Flogger.
I'll play Go Fish with Flogger. And whether or not I've got the card, every card he asks for, I just give him a card. Pretty sure he won't notice.
Okay.
You'll give Flogger a door.
Don't go fish with Flogger, it's me. Have you got a red door? I mean, card?
Yeah.
Well, it might be one way for Desrin to get his door back.
That's true. Alrighty, so Sokol sends that off.
But he says, I sent it off while you're discussing things.
Yeah, no, I figured that.
Probably won't hear anything back for a couple of days because he's sure that there's some people over there really upset now.
Understandable.
Well, Jackson's privately thinking, well, of course it'll be a couple of days. I'll have to read the thing first.
Do we have any more jobs we need to follow up on, or?
You do. You've got to do another run, but he doesn't suggest chasing it up until the Yakuza are no longer shooting at you.
No, fair enough.
Because it's very hard to stealthily look at stuff near Yakuza territory. That's why you kept putting that one off.
Is there anything that we need to get ready for, prepare for?
Do you need any particular gear? Now's a good time to start ordering it in. You've got the funds.
Well, I was going to say, do we all need gear?
Because you always need gear.
Flogger needs to hit harder.
Sounds like Flogger needs gloves of some sort. I don't know. What's the Shadowrun equivalent of shock gloves?
They do have shock gloves.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Weren't you like getting knuckle dusters or something like that?
No, I've already got knuckle dusters, but I was getting someone else has got them, but they were too small for my hands. I don't remember what they were, but they were like just like
Braces?
massive iron gauntlets.
Pretty sure it was like one.
Flogger, one of the ones
Couldn't have had them because
they
it
came
was
up.
Maybe Georgie got
One of the books. What was that, Jeremy?
I I funny, was Clogger one of the ones that like used the sledgehammer, or was that mainly Georgie?
That was Georgie and Bolt used the sledgehammers.
Oh, Bolt. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Bolt has a hammer.
Ugh, hammer. I break people with bare hands.
But you hammer them, they don't move, and then you go bye-bye.
I hammer them with my fist, they become accordion. Squish.
Accordion? I don't think they can headless.
Accordion. Oh shit, that's 4 syllables. Flogger doesn't know that word.
but headless.
Headless, yes, that's 2 syllables. Flogger knows that word.
So what use does magic have for money?
You can get better gear for your Magitech stuff. So different implements. You can spend money on different sets of clothing to protect you better. You can get a whole lot of techno gizmos to make your life better in other ways, and you can pay for lifestyles so you can live better and not spend time with all these non-awakened people who keep getting in your space.
I'm happy with that. So yes, I put the lifestyle on the top of the shopping list. So with the magic implements, I'm mostly looking at a staff that will increase my damage by more, if that's possible.
So let's see, looking at magic.
Because you get one of the things, the staff often give you effectively a free blast upgrade. Like the area effect.
So a base magic staff gives you a +4 to your damage when you're attacking people. You could get a bone staff, so every time you hit someone with an attack, you heal a wound.
That sounds good.
How often does the cards get wounded?
Fairly frequently. Like, I've only got 11 hit points, so it'd be nice to be topped up every now and then.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, as I said, if you're the sort of character that never gets wounded, then it becomes less of a... not to say you still don't want it, but it just becomes less advantageous.
And it does mean that you can, when you upgrade the range with the staff, you don't actually increase the cost to the difficulty. So a staff gives you a free upgrade of range when you can increase the range without having to pay the cost on top of the damage.
Okay.
So that would set you back 600 credits to get that staff. A huge amount out of that windfall you just got.
The 50,000
Yes.
we just got. Yeah.
So it's going to take this big percentage of it that you might just be able to scrape in for that lifestyle you want.
Yes. I want that, but
Well,
not too expensive, but
well,
live comfortably.
you'll be able to pay your lifestyle for at least 2 weeks.
No. I just want to live away from these people.
Okay, so yes, you can go and do that, and you can get lifestyle, you can get vehicles, you can also have a holiday. You can do, I'm doing around the world visiting all the magical sites to get away from the riffraff for a while.
No, that's okay. I'm because I come from Sri Lanka, I'm happy here.
Oh yeah. This is have all
You've
the
already gone around
luxuries.
the world.
Well, at least halfway.
Yeah.
And it didn't take you 40 days at all, you did it pretty quickly. So,
Yes.
does anyone have anything they want to else they want to chase down besides a bone staff?
Extra armor. So I don't know how that works.
Okay, I can sort out armor with you between games.
I'd be just
Okay,
saying
no worries.
maybe a jacket, a stylized jacket that gives me some sort of protection when I'm wearing it.
I can't
And
remember
a
if
way
Bolt
to
has
increase
armor.
some of the damage I can inflict with some of my weapons. That might just be enhancements.
I know I was going to look at the skill, but that's experience rather than money.
That is. Though, if you chop out enough of yourself and put cyberware in, you can pay for skills.
Which is the question.
So unlike Star Wars, cyberware works here.
It does, but it makes healing you with magic harder. So each point of strain you lose due to cyberware is an extra point of difficulty for the spellcaster to get through to you with healing. Okay, so we can also chase up between games for exactly what you want to get as well, because you can look at.
Certainly, Genesys would be, well, depending on how much time we're likely to have and exactly how long cyber surgery and genetic modification actually takes. If there's opportunity before having to, before starting his trip down to south of Portland, he'd like to get some more cyberware and bits and pieces put in, and he's happy to use his black market contacts to decrease the rarity a bit, so make it a bit easier to find. Because hey, he's flush with cash at the moment, so.
What sort of cyber surgery is he looking for?
What's he looking for?
Yeah.
Primary items at the moment would be enhanced reflexes as a cyberware and enhanced muscles coordination as a genetic modification. And he'll probably get a skulljack put in just as he can, but so I'm thinking that's certainly not a difficult part of the situation.
Okay, so some of those might be easily doable than others. The muscles might take longer than the reflexes.
Yeah, and that's fine. So we can work out whether or not they're likely available in the time we're going to see. And he'll also be looking to spend probably at least 5 to 10k on effectively re-kitting his gear to ensure, like, to basically replacing bits and pieces that there's any chance of being followed or copied and other things, including getting his pistols with some superior weapon customization. And I've got tiny medical down in one of my original plans, but I don't know that I need that anymore with the cyber eyes.
Yes, you can get quite a few different things added to your character, and I have more stuff popping up as we go.
Yeah. But again, obviously the primary one for Genesys would be, take a couple of days just to ensure that the Yakuza and the Aztecs are off the trail. And then he'd be thinking, but hang on, we can get it's time to get down to find out about the family will, which becomes a good place to get away, and there seems less concern about the fourth job that apparently we haven't finished yet. But he's also willing to stick around if they're going after that job too. So.
Okay, so later on that day, you get word back from SoCal that the Yakuza are happy with the info you dropped to them, because they've actually been trying to find out that information for quite a while, and as technology people have come with a proposal. Well, let's have a counter offer, more of a proposal. Did you feel particularly brave at all?
Desmond's always brave.
Would you be willing?
At least on the surface.
Would you be willing to sign something for them on behalf of the team? He says.
That doesn't sound like bravery. That sounds like stupidity.
Well, if you sign it, you will then be taking on lease of the Tiatsu building in the Redmond Barrens. And
This is the one that the Dragon Knights and the Dragons were sitting on, wasn't it?
yes,
Right, okay.
and you'll be able to then manage that on behalf of As Technology. And they will, and while you're doing so, they will be less inclined to follow up any further.
So, they're basically looking for...
It's basically them paying you off for not leaking the information that we got about their toxic dump.
That's right. Of course. And why they sure that we're in the right place at the right time is by making us live on top of the toxic dump. But it'll be... The wall shouldn't be leaking, so that's fine. Is the... thought process, is As Technology going to be maintaining a presence within the building for their own purposes?
No, they are basically pulling out completely if you take this deal. Does that interest you?
Well, they're thinking, well, I'm not certain what the brave part is it? Sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, but the problem is you have to actually be present to sign it.
Oh, okay, so the bravery is to actually accept the
Risk.
question.
Yes, to walk in the front doors of the building where said dragon resides and pick up the contract and sign it there.
Unlike some people, Desmond's not worried about it. He doesn't get scared by a new dragon.
Really?
Unlike some that might just pass out from fear.
Who passes out from
That was
fear?
Womp.
Yeah, I know.
Womp and Flogger.
Oh, okay, yep.
And Bolt at that time too, because Flogger and Bolt and Womp were not there for the next session.
That's right, they all got to recover in the lovely environment and in surrounds of the Brotherhood.
I wouldn't say fainted so much as almost burnt to a crisp, but you know what I will.
Well, I mean, hey, gotta go walking in. If we're going to be living there, if we're going to be getting these gigs, why don't we look over them before deciding if they're worthwhile?
It is a 30-story building.
Yeah.
I get to run up 30 stairs.
So you're saying that
Yes.
compared to where we've been living recently, it's a stubby little building, huh?
And it also has a landing pad on the roof.
I get to run up 30 stairs. Done.
You do.
Cool. Val will be happy with that, and then I will be too, and I can get my own vehicle.
And you've got an entire multi-story car park underneath to yourself.
Presumably it doesn't dig too deep underground.
Oh, it does go fairly deep.
Well,
If you want to go to the storage they have underneath.
Right, that's right, yeah, Declan's, yeah, hey, if we're going to live there, got to look over it, and I'm happy to be the one to go in there and do it. And hey, I can sign Mickey Mouse on anything.
Okay, so you happy to head over there straight away, he says?
Well, if they're ready and there's no time like the person, I guess.
There is. Anyone else want to head over and put their own name down as well, or just happy to let Desrin take this for the team?
I'm happy to go.
I'm happy to go.
Bull wants to run up and down the stairs. And dinner.
Okay, so heading over to the building. Reaching the building, you do find that there is quite a few of the Dragon Knights that you've heard spoken about quite a bit outside the building, keeping everyone else away. One of the reasons Redmond Barrens has been so quiet has been these guys have been here keeping the streets safe.
Well, we'll give the definition of safe.
Well, it's they'll shoot you if you try to mess with them, sort of safe.
And hey, they have been keeping the gang activity down considerably because they're certainly in the general vicinity. So, let's say, Jimmy said it wasn't all bad over here. Just so if you didn't want to go anywhere near there.
Okay, so you meet a guy who looks like he's in his mid-50s. He introduces himself as Mr. Morgan.
Morgan, great meeting. How are we going?
I am doing okay. This is my associate, Mr. Prianaway. See a guy with a goatee and long cloak.
Sorry, Mom.
Brianna here?
I'm just gonna jump off the line.
An unusual name?
All good, Josh. Rest up.
Yeah, we'll do.
Have a good night.
He says, isn't your name unusual as well, sir?
Nothing wrong with Bob.
He just laughs at that. And he says, so, for this contract with As Technology, just step up and present an arm.
An arm?
Yep.
I've got my own pen, it's okay.
That's okay. We don't need anything actually signed. We just need a sample, and that will be signature enough for us.
But can't you do magic through blood samples?
Well, but no, like I said,
That is true.
Declan will put forward his left hand there. Not that knows too much because he's fairly ambidextrous, but but yes, certainly Rakesh might be concerned about the idea of what can be done with the kinetic sample, but Declan is not quite aware enough to be as concerned as he should be.
Right.
But whether Rakesh actually tries to stop it, but...
Does Rakesh try to stop?
No, I will try and stop it and say, this is the issue, and I'll go into detail, mind-numbing detail, about what they can possibly do once they have a sample of your blood.
Yeah, sounds bad, but hey, I bet they can do that anyway.
So this is their guarantee that you will keep your letter of the agreement.
That's what we're here for.
Agreement is that you won't release the information any further.
Not unless something bad happens to us.
That's basically if it goes out and you're dead, they can't do anything about it. And the sample is their way of trying to guarantee their side of the matter.
So do we get a sample?
You get the building.
Not a sample from you guys?
Nope, you get the building.
Not that Declan could do anything with it anyway, but they might have got away with it if Rakesh had made sure or confirmed that he had an understanding what could be done with it. But yeah. Well, but hey, let's have a look over the building first. I don't want to get done for losing bond over a damaged window, but it was already there.
He does laugh and say, "How long do you need?"
He looks over at Bolt and says, "Hey, Bolt, take a run."
Will do, boss.
We'll be a few minutes.
So does Bolt run out of the building and down the street, or up the stairs?
Up the stairs.
I had to ask.
I got told I got to run up the stairs, so...
Okay, so all that's happening.
Declan will aim to take probably about 30 minutes, maybe an hour, making apparently a good look around the building, but more just thinking, "Whoa, cool! Oh, wow! Oh!"
So while you're doing that, you do notice that Mr. Perianware is currently smoking a cigarette that's not lit.
Yep. No, actually, Decker worked hard to not notice that.
So have we all got the opportunity to sign with DNA, or is it just...
Everyone can if they wish to, but SoCal sort of pushed for Desrin to be the one volunteering their material.
Yeah, I'm
I
happy
couldn't
to just
imagine anyone else
forward
would be putting in for volunteering here.
from Desrin.
Declan's the one that's got strict marks, but not enough to actually really understand what he's getting himself in for compared to what the Rangers would actually understand.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I'd be equally reluctant to pass over my DNA.
And from Declan's perspective, it's the idea of, yeah, that's right, guys. I got this, because then the building's mine, all mine.
Yes, it would be in Desrin's name if Desrin does provide the sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask Desrin, does that mean you're going to kick us out?
Well, maybe off the penthouse.
I don't need the penthouse. I'm happy not having the penthouse.
How about Flogger? Does Flogger want to? Do you think Flogger will want to sign up to have as many doors as he wants?
Well, given that he's
Declan would not
on
be
the
encouraging
bed,
Flogger to be involved.
he's probably eyeing off a few doors. I presume the building has very similar looking doors, and given that he's trying to get like 50-something different doors,
I say to Desrin, you're probably
only
going to
want
lose
one or
50
two.
doors.
You'd probably only take about 3 or 4 at the most from here,
Really?
because he wants different doors.
Oh.
so he probably wouldn't. He would just rip the doors off anyway and screw the consequences.
Quite possible.
Yes. I would not be thinking that Flogger would be providing a sample.
That's all good. So the half an hour passes rather quickly while you're being eyed off by these two as technology people. Floggy gets...
Okay. While Declan at the start was being the trying to put on a nonchalant face and say, "Oh yeah, might be an hour." By the time he's been looking around and realised where he is, more like about 20, maybe 25 minutes at most. Thinking, "Oh my god."
Well, hey, it is a mansion compared to what you've had before.
Yes. But that doesn't stop Mr. Piranwea and Mr. Morgan looking over his shoulder. And he'd rather that stopped.
Though while you're having a look around, Mr. Perianware does speak up with a deep voice saying, "So, Mr. Bob, have you ever been anywhere near Portland recently?"
Portland? Not I. I grew up on the street down here. Actually, just around the corner over there. I spent most of my childhood.
You sure you haven't been to Portland at all at any time in your past?
Do I look like one of the uppity elves?
Yes, he says.
Well, I'm glad I can put on the act then.
Just not as well dressed or tailored or educated.
Yeah. As I said, local boy, born and bred.
As well, if you ever want to look into family histories, he's sure he could provide some assistance, and hands you a business card.
I have a feeling Desrin wants to go to Portland on his own, though.
Well, he's pretty confident he doesn't want to involve Ash technology in his search for his family. And as a player, I'm really confident I don't want to involve a dragon in my search for my family.
Well, it has Perianware and a number on there with what looks to be a dragon motif when you move it in the light.
Oh, goodies. He's feeling trouble.
You never know. Your family could be descended from dragons.
Well, you'd be more likely to talk in the earlier editions of Shadowrun that elves and dragons certainly work together, or at least in the same circles.
And there was always feuds between different power groups.
Okay.
So depending on which one he's backed. And he says, so, are you happy to give a sample for the keys to the building?
It looks like the building's in working order.
They have renovated the
How
top two
long does
levels.
it take Bolt to get up and down?
Less than half an hour.
Mm.
It's a good workout, though.
You can see Bolt's, when Bolt comes back, he's panting pretty heavily and sort of, his tail is sort of involuntary, like just wagging because he's just so happy.
So, is the intent that we can lease the building out to other, we can sublet?
You can sublet if you can find anyone you trust enough, he says. Because you're responsible for whatever they do.
Desmond's thinking, hey, you probably trust people who are leasing off him a lot more than you trust someone like Flogger. And apparently he's letting Flogger in the building, so hey. Yeah. All good. And so, do they hand over or provide a pad with a 70,000 page contract on it, do they?
Oh, no, they just hand you a set of physical keys. And say that there's an electronic contract on the keyring.
Well, hey. Sounds good. Great. I'll have a look at it later.
Don't worry, it shouldn't take you more than a year to get through.
So I think we've got Bolt, Flogger, and Desrin on the lease.
Just
Or the contract.
Sorry,
no, just Declan.
For a minute there, I thought there was a switcheroo at the last minute. That would have been amazing.
I don't know. Is Desrin stopping them from joining up, or have they made the choice not to?
Certainly Declan wasn't thinking they were going to put their tickets down.
I'd say they don't understand why not. So unless Rakesh tells them not to sign, my understanding would they'd be seeing you signing it, and they'd want to do it. Well,
I'm saying to everyone, I'm openly saying to everyone, these are the issues related to giving people a sample. So I'm not
but also
restricting it.
But certainly, yeah. Considering Bolt's potential genetic concerns, I would think it would definitely be in people's interest to strongly encourage Bolt not to actually provide a genetic sample. And Flogger, well, I'd be surprised if Morgan or Prianwi are actually associating or recognising Flogger being there to actually offering the card to put in.
I just think that they would see themselves as members of the group, and and they would see you signing this contract, and they would figure we're a part of the same group, so we would sign too.
And they'd also see Rakesh and Shadowstar not signing.
Well, I'm guessing it's up to them as to whether or not they see it and they want to sign.
So, what does Bolt do?
I want to make sure everyone's fully informed.
I'm pretty sure Bolt and Flogger are probably gonna...
And certainly as a player, I would be encouraging Shadowstar and Rakesh to discourage them from signing.
So,
particularly Bolt.
So you've already discouraged Bolt from signing. What does Bolt want to do?
Bolt probably won't sign. In many words.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the same would be with Floggy. He'd be very confused. And they wouldn't know the magic word of ice cream or doors to make him sign.
Yeah, well, all I was just saying was that it was up to them to either listen or not listen to what's going on around them.
Well, we listen, but we just half the time we don't have no freaking clue what's. we just talk things like run up the stairs and it happens.
Okay. Certainly, when Josh has the opportunity back on again, if he says, "Hey, I wanted to recline," then certainly he can be on that.
So yes,
I would think it would be better for the party to avoid having like face it. If as technology you're willing to give it away by only accepting one blood sample that they're going to then keep a record of.
And as a player, I don't have an objection there. I'm just figuring that as characters, it's something that they should decide as well. That's all.
So they do say that the ownership is on contingent of you still being alive. As the only person providing the sample, if you die, then the ownership reverts back to as technology.
If ownership reverts back to as technology because Desron dies, does that mean the rest of the group also end up being in fear of their lives?
No. Well, Desron, if that's being or gets clarified, Desron said, "Yeah, that's fine. Obviously, if any members of my friends meet an untimely end, then the information will be released because it's contingent on all of them. Certainly, keys to the building, yep. If I die, then everyone else has got to find a new place to live.
Yeah.
If anyone dies, you get out."
Yep.
He agrees and takes your blood sample at the same time.
And a skin sample, and a tooth, and hair clippings.
He's got a hair with the follicle still attached.
You do see him put your blood sample in a silver and gold canister of some sort.
Hey, does this mean that if I lose a kidney, I can get a new one going or
He says something like that if you pay enough.
Oh.
Well, that's one way of ensuring you don't die.
We'll always know where you are, he says.
Sorry, I missed something much.
He said we'll always know where you are.
Oh, hey. Of course you will. I'm living in your building. Or my building. Our building. Yeah, here.
He says congratulations. He will make sure the local government forwards any letters for maintenance or taxes your way as he walks out.
Yeah. I knew there was going to be taxes associated to it.
You hear a deep chuckle from Mr. Prianoe.
Taxes on a building like that could be really high.
Well, the place hasn't paid tax for something like 20 or odd years or so.
Right. And now it's suddenly going to be subject to taxes?
Only if the government insists, because there's now a wealthy owner of it.
Of course,
who doesn't
You
have the
also
lawyers.
argue about the fact that taxes are supposed to provide services to the area, and they've been somewhat lacking.
They have been.
I can just see this scenario where Desrin gets done out by tax lawyers.
It has been 20 years since the place has been formally occupied.
Yeah, the question is are Aztec going to suddenly notify the government that there's new occupiers?
Only if it's in their interests.
Well, they might decide it is.
But, okay, it's the sort of thing that nothing we can do about that now.
No.
And again, the advantage of the fact that, well, technically only Declan's the one up for the problems there.
Yeah, that's true.
And you see 2 helicopters heading off from the rooftop as Morgan and Priyanawir walk out and get into one of the black SUVs, and they start heading off.
Well, I'd like to see gangsters in like pink SUVs or something. You know, something with a bit of colour.
And to be fair, if Declan goes down to tax fraud, well, at least he's in good company along with Al Capone.
Well, fair enough.
Tax evasion.
Yeah, that'll make you as gangster as anything.
It is. So you have managed to tie off 2 storylines tonight. The Mercurial storyline, where you had to make friends with the Yakuza and As Technology, who both were after Maria. And now that you've handed over the information that she had, they've got no reason to chase her.
So hopefully we'll get a thank you in terms of she'll pay the taxes on our building for next year.
Do we hear that Maria and Hernandez are living a lovely, happy life down in Fiji or something?
Well, they're currently having a overseas marriage and honeymoon.
Oh, well, there you go.
Isn't love grand?
It is. Unfortunately, the invitation to their wedding
Got lost.
in the mail.
Yeah.
But then, considering you guys have been living out of her apartment for the last month, I think she's happier that way.
Oh, come on. It sounds like we were horrible people to live with.
Flogger kept pulling doors off.
Flogger's a troll.
And to be fair, yep, Shadowstar is probably not that horrible to live with. SoCal, well, he probably just sat in the corner playing on playing with the computer all the
To
time.
be honest, who would notice
very
Sokol
much.
was even in the room?
I don't think anyone else in the party would be one hanging around with for more than an afternoon if you can avoid it.
Besides the tools spread all over her space in the basement where the cars are supposed to be, and all the other stuff lying around.
No, I can't control the others. I can only control myself.
Yeah, that's okay.
And if she invites you, the others will probably tag along.
No, I went and had coffee with Callahan by myself.
Rakesh would be not necessarily a bad
Well, I was going to
guy.
say, Rakesh is probably well behaved too.
Yeah, that's right.
He sounds like a very well behaved mage.
Yeah, I think Sri Lankan habits are pretty good.
Yeah.
But hey,
Except for cutting the heads off fish raw.
depending upon their attitude though, they might have said, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're still a dwarf.
Aww.
There is that.
Well, she's not racist, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's the emo of the current times.
Although admittedly, what was Max Foley a dwarf?
Max Foley was not a dwarf, he was just short and obese.
Okay, right.
I feel sorry for Max.
So if you can he was a dwarf, then that might have caused some bad associations.
Hey, he gave dwarves a bad name, even though he wasn't a dwarf.
Am I right?
You are. You'd be surprised how much fun I had saying that and seeing how much it made everyone twitch.
I'm not a dwarf. I didn't twitch.
Oh no, he kept saying at the end of every line, "Am I right?"
Oh, am I right, guy?
Yep.
Yep.
And eventually people were going, "How do we kill him?"
I see.
So, and you managed to successfully tie off the Silver Angel without getting killed.
And probably leaving a good relationship with
Aries.
Eve Donovan.
Aries.
Doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Enough that next time Aries approach you, they will treat you like a real runner that you are.
Which means they won't have to have a meeting with us every step of the run.
And
Yeah, we actually managed to do something right for once.
you did.
I think we did a lot of things right.
Hey, it's not Pathfinder here.
That's true.
We were pretty good last week, or Pathfinder session. I don't know when that was actually, but we did all right.
Yeah, the Wednesday night did well. The Friday nights had a lot of problems.
Yeah. Although admittedly, okay, the next time Aries are talking to us, they might be a bit concerned about the fact we're now living in a nice technology building.
Well, we acquired gigs.
I'm definitely having connotations of Angel when they ended up being Wolfram and Hart.
I thought you'd like it. So does this mean you're going to put Deadshot across the front of the building?
We'll have to work out what we want to do with the building.
Yeah, you will. You've now got something to lose.
I was going to say we can rent it out and make those taxes.
As it's got its own power supply network and services, it's something that other people will want, just that it's not kitted out. The only kitted out part is the top 2 floors.
I believe Desrin's already cast dibs on the top floor.
Which of course reminds me is did the Dragon Knights leave much behind?
They took all their gear and hard drives.
Right.
So they left no information behind.
No.
Not that there was...
I'm talking other random equipment and bits and pieces. That, hang on, probably better than the stuff I've got behind it.
They would have left bedding and chairs and stuff like that. That's easy to replace, but nothing military-wise.
Yeah.
Just have to go to the bathroom.
So that sounds like a good place for us to finish up for the night. As you now got a few successes and got to meet Mr. Dragon himself.
And got his personal business card.
Yep.
That'll be nice.
I'm sure there's no trace of spell on that whatsoever.
But hey, it's not like they need a trace of spell on Excellent to keep track of it.
Hey, most of the time what Rakesh would tell you is if they use it to trace you, they can only do so for a short amount of time before they use up the sample. So the threatening to actually do so to keep track of you is a false bluff.
Yes.
So it's a use once to attack you at a distance normally, not to do simple things.
And why would they bother? What's Desrin
Well,
offer?
the other aspect as to why they were specifically interested in Desrin being the one signing it is because they might know a lot more about his family history than he does. And they just wanted to get confirmation of, we had this old picture of Oswald, whatever the name was.
I wrote it down as Gerald Oswald.
Gerald Oswald, yeah.
I went for the probably worst name Desiree would ever want to hear himself being called.
I like it. But yeah, so potentially, if they were part of the possible number of people who were trying to track him down, amongst those that had hired Callahan, well, they've now got the genetic material to confirm that, oh yes, the being known as Desmond Deadshot, or Bob, is definitely originally Gerald Oswald.
Well, that was the name the orphanage gave you, not knowing your real name.
Yeah.
Was what they were hinting at. You had an orphanage name, then you had the name you gave yourself.
And the name that my parents might have given me if they knew me. And from what I'm getting, they might well be trying to track me down, and hey, I'm sure a dragon and Axe technology being involved in that search is not going to make any difference whatsoever.
And I'm sure not troubling in any way possible.
Not a concern. Anyway, thanks very much, all.
All good.
We'll catch you on Friday evening.
Catch you on Friday for Pathfinder.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week. And happy birthday if you're enjoying it for the day.
It'll be Tuesday, so yes, I will have hopefully, I don't know.
Completed the half century.
Well, hopefully on Sunday I'll get a win.
That's our plan. Yep. I will see you guys on Friday or Tuesday or in a few weeks' time, because I won't be here next Wednesday. Well, at least I might pop on towards the end of the session on Wednesday.
Yep.
But yeah. Otherwise,
That's all good.
thanks all. Have a good week.
No worries.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good
Mark.
night.